AJ Maida here. I am super excited because I'm going to be going over a 6-week training series on what you need to be thinking about, what you need to be doing as a new real estate agent. I know for me, my first year, it just wasn't good. I got Rookie of the Year, but I only sold 6 houses. I'm not sure what that says about the real estate industry as a whole, because the average agent only sells like 6 houses a year. And I made pretty much no money by the time I paid my splits, my cap, the lead generation that I wasted my money on because I had no idea what I was doing. I only sold 6 houses, so I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to absolutely crush it and achieve all your goals. So throughout this series, and this is again the first video, it's gonna be a 6-week series, so there's gonna be a total of 7 videos including this one, since this is just an intro. We're gonna be talking about a few different topics in the order that I think is most important, and I have my notes here. So the first one is following the right advice. See, when I first started in real estate, I was going to every class offered by my brokerage. It was like eating from a giant buffet of all this knowledge and just getting so stuffed, like you want to throw up. Have you ever been to like Ponderosa or in Michigan where I grew up, it was Old Country Buffet, and you just feel sick leaving there because there's just so much? Like, that was my experience, and it held me kind of like in this phase, I guess, of overwhelm. Like, I'm doing a little bit of everything, but I'm not getting really any results. And that's why I had a bad first year. It was just too much information, and it was like a shotgun approach, just throwing stuff against the wall, seeing what sticks. Like, that is the wrong way to do it. You need to take the Ruth Chris approach, just getting that one nice filet mignon. If you're a meat eater, I try to eat plant-based for the most part, but I do love a good steak. And you feel so satisfied after leaving there. You feel like you just had a great meal. It's taking that laser approach and really just like digging in on just 1 or 2 things. So you gotta be following the right advice. You need that mentor, you need that coach who's gonna help you focus on what's important. The good news is I didn't stay stuck that first year selling 6 houses. My second year, by the end of my first year, I actually had over 20 listings. And it's because I hired a coach mid-year. I figured out the system. The first coach I had, thankful for that company. However, I knew it was going to keep me on a treadmill of transactions, so I eventually moved on from there, created my own system, what works good for my lifestyle, but at least I had a plan to follow that was duplicatable and repeatable. That is key. It needs to be duplicatable and repeatable. It needs to be a system. So I had a system to follow. That's why I was able to sell 36 houses the next year, make over $150,000, and it was amazing from there. Just kept going and building on from that. Never sold less houses than those 36 after my second year in real estate. So I know where you might be kind of struggling, selling houses, and I know exactly how to get you to that next step. And the first step is getting the right mentor and getting the right coach, because you need that right person feeding into you, helping to clear out all their distractions that are holding you back from the success you deserve. The next thing we're going to cover in week 2 is going to be to decide what type of agent you want to be. You have to decide. You can't just take a buyer here out to show houses to you. You can't just take a listing if it falls in your lap. You need to decide which type of business you're going to go after. Now, I'm not saying you're never going to work with buyers if you want to be a listing agent, and never work with listings if you want to be primarily a buyers focused agent, but you need to decide. Both work, however, each one comes with different pros and cons. I recommend, if you're open, focus on listings. That's going to be the best quality of life. That's going to allow you to have, an amazing lifestyle, not working all the time, because it just takes less time working with listings. That's the reality of it. But in week 2, we're going to talk about in detail the pros and cons of both. So you need to decide, are you going to be primarily focused on listings or primarily focused on buyers? In week 3, we're going to talk about what type of lead generation activities do you need to be focused on. It can't be 5 different things. Again, my first year, I was trying to generate leads on Craigslist when that was really popular, years ago. I was doing open houses. I was calling expired here, calling a FSBO there. I wasted $5,000 on Realtor.com ads. Completely wasted it because I had no idea what I was doing. I did so much different things that first year. I just kept spinning my wheels. So you need to decide the one or two listing generating activities that you're going to do as a new real estate agent. These are pillars of your business. You can easily sell 24 to 36 homes a year just on one pillar. That one pillar is going to spin off buyers if you're focused on, say, expireds. You're going to have people who are selling and buying with you. Your friends and family are going to see that you're becoming successful because you're so focused on this one type of activity. You're generating business. It's going to create sphere business. It's going to create referral business. But you need one main driving force that first year. So we're going to talk about that in more detail. Number 4, week 4, we're going to talk about how do you actually get the work done. This is time blocking. If you cannot create and follow a schedule, you're going to be lost as an agent. You might make a lot of money, but you're never going to have the quality of life that you desire. You see, most agents got into real estate to have this quality of life, to not have a boss, to be able to take vacations, but instead most of them get trapped by their real estate business, and when they're on vacation, they're negotiating deals, or they're coming home from vacation short, or they're sending their family and they're staying back, or they're working nights and weekends like on a regular basis. Like, that is not the real estate agent you want to be. That is miserable. I know so many agents who get burned out because that's how they treat the real estate business. So you gotta have a schedule. Having a schedule creates discipline, and discipline creates freedom. And it's not that hard. You can totally do this on 40 hours a week. You don't need to be working 60 hours a week like some might believe you need to be doing. The 5th one is going to be, you're going to actually learn how to convert those buyer and seller leads that you're talking to. That's super important. The last thing I want you to do is, like me, spend $5,000 on Realtor.com and not know how to convert the leads. So I'm actually going to teach you free ways of how to generate both buyers and sellers, because I personally don't think a new agent should ever be spending that type of money on leads. Because A, you don't have the skill set to convert them yet, so you're not going to get a good return on your investment. And 2, you just don't need to, because there's so many free ways, and it's so much better to get free business or low-cost business. And number 6, week 6, what do you do after you learn how to convert those into appointments, those leads into appointments? I'm going to teach you how to go about converting those buyers and sellers into clients. That's buyer presentations, that's seller presentations, that's knowing how to go on the appointment, what to do on the appointment. So we're going to cover that too. So I hope you stay with me all 6 weeks. They're going to come out every single week, same day, every Sunday. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun. I think even if you're not a new agent, you're going to learn something. Post any questions, thoughts. Like, if I wasn't clear on a certain topic, like, put that in the comments and I'll get in there and I'll answer them for you. And if you want more of this content and you don't want to miss any of these 6 weeks, then go ahead and click the subscribe button. That would be awesome, because then all the trainings are going to go straight to your emails and you won't miss nothing. So I look forward to seeing you next week when we get into it. We'll talk then.